Hello everyone, welcome to Masonite Visual. I am Dominic, and in this video I'm going to share with you the best and quickest way to create electrical works in ArchiCAD. We're going to dissect several methods to carry out this work, and you can decide the best approach that suits your workflow. All of these methods are typically based on the type of project and its expectations, and also the project deliverables. Make sure to download all the materials and project used in this demonstration from our Patreon platform to show your support. Check the first link to download. Without wasting any of your time, let's get started. Well, to start this demonstration, you need to understand there are several ways of carrying out electrical works in ArchiCAD, and what I have here, there are two examples that are based on the project type. And one thing you should also be mindful is the project expectations that will also drive the methods or the ways of carrying out your ArchiCAD electricals. So if I go to the first one that I'll see is the commercial project, which was the commercial kitchen. What you see in the yellow element, these are electrical tubing or piping for your cables that are servicing all the power points, your lights, switches, and the power outlets. And then we also have this is good for several reasons. You can also do the 3D presentations like this one. If you come here under the exploded view, you can check the MAP, this kind of presentations. And as you can see, like I said, the yellow elements are the ones for electricals. We're using the piping tool, which is one of the, I think it was used out of context to provide the tubing for the electrical wiring. As you can see, I think what I could have done more especially for here is to provide a cable tray for this to support this weight of the piping. Okay, and then we have another example, which is this, where we have the wiring visible in your layout that's servicing all the power points, your switches, sockets, and the other ones. And then we managed to have two different types of legends here. The one that shows the symbol and the description of the element, and then the one that shows the object picture and the description. We'll learn this during this demonstration. Right, so let's go back to our sketch to start our demonstration. So the first part, or the first way or method, is to turn off or change your profile into an MAP profile. So I'm going to go to options, work environment, and then apply profile. Let's switch on to MAP engineering profile. Once you are in this profile, I can now start by looking at the power points. I could have already placed the power points, which is your switches, sockets, and lights. Okay, I can quickly do that by placing some lighting, but you can only do it once you are in the architectural profile. So let's quickly go back there. We'll come back later once we've placed that. I'll just use the architectural profile so that I can go down here under design tool palettes. If you're new in ArchiCAD, I would start by doing the lighting or provide light points in this layout. So I'll activate the light tool and then open its settings. I'm gonna pick for general light. Let's go for interior lamps. For general lighting, I'm gonna use the ceiling lamp. So if you come here, it has different styles you can choose from. I'll go with this one, hit OK. Then I'll place one on this bedroom on the center, another one in this toilet. We have another one here by the carport, the other one by the entry or by the patio. We'll have another one for the lounge, and then for the dining and the kitchen I'm going to use a different style. Let's go back and find the ceiling ventilator for the dining, and I just place it here. And then for the kitchen, I'm going to use fluorescent bulbs. So if you scroll down here, you'd find fluorescent lamp. There's the one that is wall mounted, and then this is for ceiling. So I'll go with the ceiling one. And then if we move on to the structure settings, we have the mounting tab. I can use ceiling, and then I can choose the different styles here for the fixture, and then for also the cover. Okay, and then the number of tubing is important because it's just a kitchen, it's not a commercial, we'll just use one tube for this. And then the length for this is going to be 600, and then the width I'm just going to be maybe 80. Okay, so that we can get something like this. I think for this I'll say 1 also, yes, and then hit OK. You can come here and apply it there. So I'm going to Control E in your keyboard to activate the rotate command, and then rotate it horizontally like that. I'm going to place 2 of this one I'll just position here, and then I'll click to move again and add a copy by clicking Control in your keyboard. As you can see, there's a plus sign to add a copy, stuff like that. Okay, we'll have another general light here by the entry lobby. I'm gonna just pick this one and then click on the one of the hotspots to move and add a copy by Control in your keyboard. Okay, so we have that and that. I think we'll have another lighting outside there. Let's Control again to add a copy to this area. Perfect. We have also exterior lights. So if we click on this one and then add a copy by Control, if we say, let's just position it here on the side and then open its settings while it's still being selected. From this, the same ceiling lamp, no, let's find something that will work for our wall lamp, which is this. And then we can also choose different style. For that one, I will go for, let's go for the same bulb or same type. Hit OK. We need to rotate it to align it with the wall by using Control E in your keyboard, stuff like that. And then I can make a copy to somewhere there. I think there has to be evenly distributed along this wall, something like this. I can select 2 of this by Shift hold and add a selection, and then I'm going to Control Shift M, which is to mirror a copy. I'm going to mirror this to the other side, so I'm going to use the center of this line to mirror it to the other side. So that's basically how you place your lighting in ArchiCAD. But one thing that I wanted you to understand, the different styles of representation in plan. So if I had to select all of these lights, let's say we activate the tool in order for us to select all, and then hit Control A. Control A in your keyboard, it will allow you to select all your lighting or all elements. This is applicable to all the tools here. For example, if you want to select all the doors within your file, you activate the tool and then hit Control A. If you want to select all the columns, for example, or beams, any tool here, this is the best selection criteria skill you should know or have, most especially if you're dealing with complex projects. And then I'll take advantage of this and I'll group them for future selection as well. And then if you open its settings, let's go to the settings. What I'm interested here is the 2D representation. Let's find that parameter by clicking on this arrow, and then let's go for floor plan and representation. Right, currently by default the symbol type is by model view options. MVO stands model view options. Right, it means the representation is dependent on the top part or top view of your element, which is this light. So as you can see, this is the top part of the element, and we don't want to see this. We want electrical representation. So what I need to do is to change this into some electrical symbol, which is this type. And you have a text in 2D that you can adjust, and have other parameters like the field type, the symbol size you want to increase. Let's make it, I'd like to make it 300, then hit OK. Stuff like this. Perfect. So that's what we have in terms of that. So we've managed to position our lighting. Next is the power outlets, your switches to control this lighting. But in ArchiCAD, unfortunately, it doesn't have the switches and the power points for that. What I created a library that you can use. So let's see how you can load that library. If you go to File, Libraries and Objects, Library Manager, we can add that library. Let's click on Add and locate the library on your stick, on your folder. In this case, I have it, should have it somewhere here. I think it's this one. Electricals UK plates. Let's load it that. Hit OK. Just a second for it to load. All right, there we go. If we go to objects, because it's objectly dependent, or it's an object tool, it's an object. So let's go to the objects. But the first thing that you need to understand is the layer system. Whatever you do, you have to be thoroughly thought in terms of the layers. By default, ArchiCAD, the lights will put it under the interior lamp, which is fine. So if you look at, we don't have other options for, okay, we have MAP electricals. That's where we'll put our switches and power points in the sockets. Okay, so let's activate the object tool and then assign it a layer. Let's find MAP electrical. Sorry about that. And then if you open the object settings, we've just loaded the library. Check the link on the description for you to get this library. It's a very good library, guys, for your electrical works. So I don't know. Okay, let's go here. So if you loaded the library, obviously it will be under linked libraries. So if it, where is it? I'm not seeing it here. Yeah, it will be under linked libraries. So I have it here. If you select the folder, this is the library that is going to be used for this demonstration. Check the link on the description again if you want to get this library. It's a very good library that is worthwhile. So what you need to do is to provide some switches for the light controls, right? So I'm going to start by the entrance here, the one that will service the carport, the patio light, and then this for the inside lobby. Okay, so that means I'm going to have a three gang kind of a switch. So if I go back here and then find that the three-way, we have a single 3 gang switch, which is this one, and we can track around with its settings, 2D representations and stuff like that. Stuff like this. Okay, and then I can hit OK and place it somewhere here in the corner. You can find a way. The reason why you're doing this is to identify the best positions to position this, unlike when you're going to do it later on site. Here's the best way to figure out where are best positions to locate my switches and my sockets, stuff like that. So I'm gonna use this wall to place all the electrical works here, stuff like this, and place it there. Okay, once you've placed it, you can pick this and mirror. Let's mirror to the other side like that. And yes, this, let's just move it closer to the door. We're just using move like that, somewhere there. Okay, so this will service 1, 2, 3 lights, and then we would have another one. Let's pick parameters of this again to activate the object tool. We have another one. Let's service the bedroom. So if you go back, the bedroom, we're gonna just have one switch. Let's go there to the settings and then find the single pole general switch. Hit OK. I'll just place it this side. Make sure it's here. And then I'm going to rotate by, where is rotate? There you go. Let's rotate it like that. Number 1. And then we're gonna have the other ones for the dining, kitchen, and lounge. So here I'm going to have, because there are 1, 2, 3 types of spaces to control, I'm going to have 3 ways as well. So I think the best position for this is here by this wall. Here, I think I can position it here or here. Let me have 2, because if someone is sitting in the lounge, it will be easy for him or her to come and switch it here. And when he's in the kitchen, he can also utilize this space to control the lights. So I'm going to pick the copy of this one. Let's carry a copy. If you drag this and then hit Control in your keyboard, you add a copy. I'll just place it right here and then rotate it accordingly, stuff like this. And then I'll have another one, same three gang kind of switch also here. Oh, I didn't add a copy. Let me just bring it back by adding a copy. Let's rotate this like that. Perfect. So we need to have, again, I think I could have used 4 for this, because you'd want also to control the outside or the exterior lights within the patio and then the lounge, right? So in this case, I'm going to select 3, or this 2 of this. Let's add a selection by shift hold in your keyboard and then click on this object. So I'm going to open its settings. Instead of 3, I want 4. Let's go for 4 and hit OK. You can also increase the size of this 2D text if you want as well. So now we have 4 that will control the outside and inside of my space. Okay, it makes sense. All right, so for the power points, which is the sockets, and I'm gonna use the same. Let's go back to the object settings, and then we have the power sockets here. So I'll pick this one, the double socket with the USB ports, right by, just place it here. I don't know it will fit by this wall. Obviously the height is different for this, because the switch has to be at a height of, is it 1.4 somewhere there, and then this one I think 300 to 500 is fine. Okay, so this is going to be at a height of 500. Is it 500? No, let's make it 350. And this is going to be all our switch. Let me just select all of them like that, and then I'll group them by that one, and then set the height to 1.4, enter, and then I'm going to change the code, its color to maybe a blue color, just to differentiate between the switches, the sockets. It's very good to have that kind of a presentation. So I will say fill pen, let me go for a blue color, and then the red color will be the power points, right? I'll have another one. Let's pick parameters of this just to activate the object tool with the same parameter. If you go back to the list there, I want to have the supply for the stove, dishwasher, and the fridge. So for this, because it's a heavy supply, I would need the double socket switch, which is this one. So let's go for this. For the stove, I assume stove will be centrally positioned here. Let's Control E to rotate. And then I'll make a copy, Control Shift D in your keyboard to move it somewhere there. For the fridge, open its settings. For the fridge, I'm going to go for something lighter, just a normal, which is this one, your normal single socket. And for the dishwasher, somewhere here, let's go for I can go for the same let's go for the same socket. Yeah, I think it's perfect like that. I think we would have another PowerPoint somewhere here. I'll pick a copy of this here, and then mirror, so that you want someone who is here can also access the power service. Also, we need another one for the TV, and then we need a TV data outlet and the power supply. So I can go for the same. Let's just pick a copy of this there, Control E to rotate that way, and then I'll Control Shift D to pick a copy again, put it alongside this, open its settings, and I'm gonna change this to a data type kind of. Yeah, I'll go for this one that has a combination of HDMI, everything. Let's go for it. You can also check the 3D, and you can set out the surfaces according to what you want. Yeah, stuff like that. I don't normally change this. Let me just, oh sorry, I've cancelled instead of loading it. What am I doing? Let's do this, hit OK. Perfect, we have a data. And what else again? Yes, I think we'll need another supply here or somewhere here outside, right? Am I right? So I'm gonna get a copy of this in case someone wants to do some activities outside here. At least he has a power point to connect. All right, I think perfect. Once you have all this, you need to connect them by wiring, and that's where the two ways of doing this it comes into play. You have MAP tool to do the piping, and then again, like I said, this will be driven by the expectations or the deliverables, the level of detail in terms of the type of a project. Some projects are different. For if you're doing this just for your residential approach, and as an architect you have to provide electrical layout, I don't think you should go beyond this level. What you can just do is to offer the wiring by just using a cable or maybe a 2D line. For example, I like to use the spline tool or the polyline tool. For example, let's say we want to connect, sorry about that, we want to connect from this switch. We're connecting 1 and 2, right? And then we're connecting also the outside lights. These lights will be connected, right? And then also, okay, this one, the other side of the lights will be connected from this to there and to that one. So I will convert these straight lines into a curve just to have a bubble kind of diagram like that, something of this nature, and this will make a wiring representation. Okay, then I'll turn this into maybe different color, maybe red color or something. Okay, then now continuing, we have this will be servicing this as well, turn into an arc. Oh, we didn't provide switch for this. I think it's going to be just one gang that is going to be on the side. Let's rotate it to that. and then polyline, add a wiring for this and convert that to arc. I'll hit W in your keyboard. It's a shortcut to repeat the previous command, which is the polyline in this case. So this 3 switch is for this lighting for the kitchen, and then it's for the dining and for the lounge. Okay, so let's convert this into arc to make it a diagram, interesting diagram, something like that, like that. And then also we're going to connect it from this, let's see, from here, and then the lounge, the dining and the kitchen. So let's turn this into our interesting diagram, stuff like this. I don't know, here it's not interesting, eh? It's cool. We also have the outside light like that. Yes, perfect. I think that's it completes our wiring for this. And obviously you have to do the wiring also for the power points. This to there, you want to connect them like that, right? And then I can turn this to bubbles, this to that one, then this to that, stuff like that. This connection, and then you're gonna connect it to that one. Yeah, but before I continue and complete this the wiring, I want us to introduce the MAP feature and see how interestingly can be done here. But this also, like I said, it will depend on the level of detail. So if you want to do more, that's when you can introduce the MAP. But it's just, if you're just doing the architecture, electrical layout, I think this should be fine. I think this way should be, it's a quick way and easy way to produce electrical layout in ArchiCAD. But now if you want to take this to the different level, the way you want to do stuff like quantifying, putting cost, you can still quantify and put cost in this. The problem, you won't be as precise as you'd want to be. But now if you want really to add more details, if you want the BIM approach, the building information approach, now you should introduce the MAP profile. So let's go to design, options, work environment, and then apply profile. Let's turn this to MAP engineering profile. Perfect. So we have different tools here to use, MAP tools. We have the duct root tool for your mechanicals. I think these are just for ducting for your mechanicals. We have the flexible duct, and then we have cable tray or cable carrier, as they call it here, the cable trays. These are for electricals. And then we have piping that normally it's used for plumbing works. But in this case, we're going to use the pipe into or outside its context in conjunction with cable tray and see how we can provide the wiring for our power points. Okay, so to achieve this, let's go to, we need to activate our routing first, our MAP routing, in order for us to start doing that. I think if you go to, I want MAP systems settings, it's this one. If you come here, that's the one. If you click on it, it will give you this window that will indicate all the types of routing or MAPs that you can do. You can do it for cabling, for cooling, exhaust air, fresh air heating, and sprinkler. So in this case, we're gonna go for cabling. Okay, and then we're gonna say for cabling, what kind of tool do you want to use? We have cable tray and then pipe work, duct work. By default, cable tray will be selected for cabling, but remember we said we're going to use piping to provide our wiring. Yes, It normally has been used for plumbing works, for plumbing pipes. So in this case, but in construction, actually, you know, guys, we use piping to do our wiring. So you'll be putting those pipe sleeves, and then later on you come do the wiring inside the pipe work. So I'm gonna adopt the same approach in this case. So I'm gonna activate the pipe work in order for this to work, and then I'm gonna change the, I could have created my own system instead of just overriding this one. Let's just say undo and create a new system. I'll call it electrical wiring. All right, and then hit enter. This is our newly created system. I'm going to use piping and the same time with cable tray. So this is going to change to, because it's electrical, let's go for a red color. Okay, we're going to go for a red color. All right, so once you're done, the insulation surface, I don't think this matters most. Yes, you can pick an insulation material. I don't know what's best. I'm not electrical engineer, so insulation. I just go with anything that is available there. All right, so I can hit OK once you are done with your, this is the contour pen again for your, which is good at pen 1, which is 0.13 millimeters. Then I'll hit OK. So now, in order for me to do the routing, I have to have a sketch first on how my system will run. Okay, let's have a sketch. To do that, I'm going to use a polyline. Let's pick the parameters of this polyline, and in this case I'm going to use a different color because I already have red used for wiring. Okay, so I'm saying this will be dependent on the position of your DB. Okay, your main switch. Our main switch is going to be located here. Okay, currently I'll just use a 2D line to represent that somewhere here, and then say it's going to be 400 by 150. This will be our DB. Let me just turn the pen to a heavy color and then make the line type solid. This will be our DB. You can also find an object that will represent that by going under equipment. So open the settings, and then you can find the under electricals. Let's find the switch. Is it switchboard? Yes. Junction boxes. They use this terminology that sometimes is very difficult for you to understand what is which. Switchboard, I don't think. Metering switchboard, utility switchboard. Yes, I think we can. Circuit breaker switchboard. Yes, I think one of these would work. Yeah, that's the one, but it looks huge, right? I can go for, let's go for 500 height. Yeah, so yeah, I think we can get this one. Perfect. So hit OK and place it there. And then obviously the back side of it is this one, because here it has two lines that it means it represents. I'll rotate it. Yeah, I'll rotate it this way and then position it here. I can just put it right in the corner there. I don't know the width. Can I change the width? Yes, here. Let's change the width to normally they are inserted, they are recessed on the wall, so I'll make it half the size of the wall, which is 150, and then move it back to flush with the wall like that. I think I can, yeah, I can only go for 200, right? Yes, that's basically how you do this. I don't know the height of it from the ground. Let's make it 1.4, so the same height with our switch. Okay, so to check all this in 3D, let me just mark you this area. Let me just mark you this and F5. Pick the orbit to see where we clearly would see only our switch switches and the sockets are in good position. The lighting, no. So I'll select all the lighting. I know they are grouped, so I can just pick one and then suspend groups and then set it to the ceiling height, which is going to be 2.5. I think it's too much. 2.5 is higher. What is the slab height? Just put 150. So make it 2.4 for example. It looks, I can do it manually. Let's just drag it that way. Perfect. Okay, that's great. Right, but for the light, for the fluorescent lights, you know, we've said it should be recessed. Okay, I would add, let me just go for 2.8, maybe 2.850. Let's see. Yes, perfect. And then you can right click and then connect to bring solid element operation. We want to clean off because you can see it's glittering with the surface of the slab, the underside of the slab. So I'm going to pick this as an operator. The target is going to be the slab, and then I'm going to use subtract with the downwards extrusion because I just want to remove the downward side of the slab to make it clean like that. Great. So I think we have everything pretty well. Our DB is here. We can maybe reduce the height a bit to 1.3. It's just for it to be accessible when someone is standing here. Okay, like I said, if you want this project, guys, check the link on the description to download it, and it's on Patreon and Patreon platform just for the support, guys. Yeah, and then if you go back, so we'll go back and then like I was saying, sketch the system, how it's going to run, because this is unlike the wiring diagram where we just use line tools to provide the indicative way of doing wire. But this one is more accurate because it's being done the way it's supposed to be done in construction. Remember, the beam approach is to build it twice, visually here and then on the construction side. So I'm going to sketch. Let me pick the parameter of this polyline and then change the color. Let's go for orange color just to differentiate with the existing wiring. So everything will route from the DB. Okay, so if I want to supply or distribute the power to all the power points, I'll have to have a tray that will carry all this cabling or cables to distribute. In this case, I'm going to divide this into half. Let's say like that. Yeah, I'm just going to go all the way like that, right? Something like this, and then that will be the main tray for our build, for our system. Okay, and then once you have your tray, I don't know why this is not in, oh, it's on orange. Let's go for yellow or maybe blue, purple, just a unique color. So from your cable tray, you would have the junctions that are servicing your power points like that. So they'll be coming from all angles. You get, they'll be coming from all the power points, stuff like this. And then for the switches, for everything, so it will be dependent on this system. Obviously for the switch and sockets is different because it has to go through the wall, so I would have to move this right here, and then join it there. Same applies to this one. It has to go right through the wall, then it will curve or like that. So we have another one there. That's basically what I wanted to represent. So I'm going to place firstly a cable tray. Okay, let's place a cable carrier that will run on the ceiling from here all the way to this wall. Okay, so that will be our cable tray. I don't know, in terms of the settings, we can set what can we do. So let's say we have I don't think we have much here too. It's just the dimensions. We can have it covered if we want. We can have it open. I think that's all. There's really nothing much. Okay, so like that. It's under, by default, to be assigned to MAP electrical layer, and then from there I'm gonna run my piping. All the pipings will be based on here. Okay, so let's say yeah, that was that about the MAP tools. If you want a detailed tutorial about this approach, let me know in the comment section so that I can create a specific tutorial for the MAP in order for us to create this kind of results. Okay, so let's go back and finish it off our element. So I'll delete this tray, and then let's just delete the purple lines for the routing, stuff like this. All right, and then from here, once we're done with this, we need to create what you call legends, quantities for our what you call our components. So I'll go back to the architectural profile. I'm going to options and then work environment, apply profile, architectural profile 27. Okay, so what we have here is switches for all the components. Literally, we need to have a legend aside. So in order for us to achieve this, we need to do let's place what you call a layout. So I'm going to go here, let's just come there under the layout book, and then I'll create, I already have done something before for this project. Let's say if you go to Pinterest, this is what I've produced before, but I don't want this. This is the layout, the master that I created before. So I'm going to go to settings and then change this to let's say 1.2 by 600. That's the size of a thumbnail. Okay, so that's our layout. So I'm going to create a new layout, use this master for Pinterest, then I'll call it electricals. I'll create, and then from there I'll go back to my view map, and then let's go here and drag and drop our drawing to place it. Or another way to do this is to go here and you can right click and then say place this on a layout. Then it will direct you to the newly created layout, and then you can just click into place there. Perfect. See, we have that. I can trim it off by selecting the edge of this, and then trim it off closely, relatively close to your drawing, like that. We can position it this way. I can rotate the drawing horizontally like that, and then I can increase the scale if I want. So currently it's at 1:50. I can make it 1:20. Wow, that was huge. That was huge. For the sake of this demonstration, I'll just rescale it without considering a scale like that, by stretching the corners. Perfect. I'm just gonna move it aside to create space for the legends. So if you look at our, let's just go to this drawing and see what I've created here. I've created these two legends. Okay, I've created these two legends by using the image from the library and then the 2D view from the library as well for the objects. Okay, let's go and do that. Let's go back and say, oh, come here, and then what you need to do is go to the ground, and then on the ground, let's go for schedules. Where are they? Here are they. I can just right click here and then go to scheme settings. Okay, right click in one of the elements there and then go to scheme settings, create a new, let's say the ID will be LG, stand for legend. This will be electrical legend. Let's just go for legend and hit enter. What we need to assign here in terms of the criteria, this is what we're saying. We have to be specific with the criteria. We're pulling out the element type. Oh, so we already have an element type here, which is objects and lights, right, and lamp. But we also have to be specific because we have different types of objects here. We have chairs, we have tables, stuff like that, beds. We have to be specific what kind of objects do we want. So I'm going to add another criteria, and this criteria is going to be for a layer, because our objects are assigned a layer that is MAP. Remember the layer we've assigned, which is MAP electrical. And then make sure you say or. Oh, okay, this one. Make sure you say or. Otherwise it won't work if you don't say or. If you leave it as and. Okay, let's add the fields. The fields represent the columns of our table. So I'm going to have first to have 2D preview or 2D plan. And then I will have again, let's go for picture, which is the preview picture, for GDL preview picture. And then we can have the description. I'm feeling lazy. We can derive the description from the name of the element. Normally it's coming from the library part. I will say library part name. Okay, so we have a 2D symbol, we have a preview picture, and then we have a description. Let's say okay, and then if you come here, you'd see our legend is being created. Let's double click on it to open it so that you can see. Perfect. You would see this kind of a very intimidating, horrific table. So don't worry, we'll fix this. I'll double click in the margins to fit in my content, and then I'll select one of the cells and then say the elements within the cells, because you see they are blown out of proportion. Let's make them to fit. Let's say to fit. You see now they fitted in our cell. And then we can also increase the size of our cell by saying 15, and that will automatically adjust also the size of our elements. So we have this 2D plan preview column titles. We don't want to see this. We'd rather say this is supposed to be a symbol. Oh, I want it in caps lock. This is supposed to be a symbol, and then for this we'll just say what. I just want to delete that. Okay, and then say image. I'll just say image. This I'll override to description. Stuff like this. Yes, and then I can stretch the margin of this, the cell height, even for the title. Okay, and I would want to bold this. Let's select all the line and bold. Same applies to the header. Okay, so that's basically how you create legends that comes with a symbol and the image. So let's go back to our sheet and drag this. You can right click and then say place on. Oh, this doesn't have place on the layout. Strangely, I can just drag and drop it to my layout like that. Perfect. Did it. You can stretch it the way you want, something like that. Okay, so I'm giving out this project, we've been demonstrating using it, and then also this one that I already placed with all these elements. Okay, so check the link on the description to get just support, guys. It's on our Patreon platform. Just buy a cup of coffee for me, for just to motivate me and moving forward and create this type of content. Okay, just do me a favor, if you liked this video or find it interesting, make sure you like and share with those that you feel they will benefit from this type of videos, and then make sure you subscribe if you haven't, because we have 70% of our viewers that watch or views our videos without subscribing, and we want to reduce that number to 50%, and we can only achieve that by your support, guys. And you've been supporting us through this journey. We appreciate that. We can't take it for granted. Let me take this opportunity to thank you for keeping on supporting our creations. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, comments, check the link, check the comment section below, and let us know what you think about this two approach of creating electrical drawings or layouts or works in ArchiCAD. Clearly, as you see, you can pick whatever method suits your workflow, depending on the project expectations and the deliverables as well, because that will also drive the method or the methodology on which you are carrying out your virtual model within ArchiCAD. So thank you once again. Let me know in the comment section what you feel, what you think about this video, and then I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Thank you.